Hey Meleaha, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how to cut prescription lenses for your RayBan 5256. Let's see, color 5057 and the 52 eye size, the tortoise with the RayBan emblem on the inside of the frame. This is your RayBan case and your RayBan cleaning cloth. I will get this out of the way for now so I can begin to work. So the first thing I'm going to do is take out your original demo lenses that comes in this frame. The ones that say RayBan on them, I'm going to pop them out very quickly. In fact, put these in your case because you can receive those if you like. And I'm going to put your RayBan frame into my $30,000 Santanelli. This is the LE1000 patternless edger. The stylus is going to pop up and trace the shape of the left lens, and then it's going to move over and trace the shape of the right. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you receive free prescription, single vision, clear lenses, or non-prescription fashion lenses, whatever you like. But in your case, you're getting prescription. So that is done. I'm going to pull your shape up on the computer. I'm going to type in your pupillary distance of 57.5. And got it. These are polycarbonate lenses. I'm going to cut them on soft because of the anti-glare coating. And this is being cut for a plastic frame. So your right eye reads +1 minus 75 at 7. I'm going to spin the axis wheel of my Marco 101 lensometer to 7. I'm going to put the power drum on +1. I'm going to put your lens in. Actually, let me zero it out and make sure everything is perfect. Yep, now I'm going to put it on +1. I'm going to put your lens in and rotate it until the sphere power comes in clearly. Check your astigmatism correction. That looks good, and I'll explain all that in just a little bit. And now I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses. In fact, I need to put some more ink in my machine. They're so light you can't see them, but I will do that for you. There's a dot, and there's one, and this is the right lens. So I'll put an R on there. The same thing for the left, which is a +75 sphere. No astigmatism correction to find, but I just have to find +75. And put 1 dot in the center. And that is your left lens. Your right lens, because of the astigmatism correction, it cannot be rotated at all. So that's why I put those 3 dots on there. It gives me a straight line to know exactly how your lens is rotated into your frame. Now this is a block. This is what's going to hold it in place while it is cutting inside the lathe. So 3M, the same people who make Post-it notes, also make these double-sided adhesive stickers. In fact, let me get a new one off for you. The black side is the sticky side. So I'm going to put that onto the block, into my speedy blocker, pull the tape away, and now this side is sticky. And essentially what I'm looking into is like the crosshairs of a scope. I have a vertical meridian and a horizontal one. I want to get those 3 dots laid out perfectly on the horizontal, and then the 1 vertical stripe of the crosshair I want going right through the optical center of your lens. So we have the red dot dead center there. Do the same thing for the left. I'm going to put that red dot right in the middle of the crosshairs. That is your optical center. That is where you always have your best vision. And I'm always going to aim for the center of the bullseye. So the anti-glare coating that you're receiving, it's 3 features in one. And I'll explain all those in just a moment also, as I keep pushing everything back. But one of the side effects of that lens is that it's a hydrophobic lens, meaning that it hates water. So I'm going to put, it makes it extra slippery. So I'm going to put another little adhesive sticker on the back of the lens while it is cutting so it doesn't slip once I place it into the chuck. And this is the chuck closing. Of course, I don't know it well enough to call it chuck, so I like to call it the Charles. Alright, really bad optical humor there, but don't worry, I won't quit my day job. Well, the first thing that's going to happen is these calipers are going to come down, and they're going to trace the shape of the right side of your frame to make sure this lens is large enough to fit in there. It's starting on the concave surface first, which is the rear surface, the back surface, the side closest to your eyelashes. Now it's moving over to trace the convex side of the lens, which sits away from the face. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. It's that lighter color wheel that essentially is going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper that's going to grind away your lens material. And then this little valley and this wheel in the center, that channel, that's what's going to cut the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I will have to close the door in just a moment, but for now I just want you to see as your prescription lenses touches down to the cutting wheel. Now, your lenses are made out of a polycarbonate material. Polycarbonate is virtually unbreakable. It is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into it. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes when you're wearing these, from computers, from any glare source. Now the other nice thing about these lenses is it's an aspheric lens. Spherical just means it's completely round. It gives you that ugly fishbowl cosmetic appearances. This has a flatter field of curvature, so the lens is very flat and will fit inside the frame and never bulge and never look ugly. So everyone else, when you buy glasses online, will charge you for plastic lenses. You get the free upgrade to polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. Then they charge you if you want to upgrade to polycarb, and then they charge you if you want to upgrade to the aspheric lenses. Well, that's where I start for free. When you buy the frame, you get everyone else's highest tier lens for free, and the free video, of course. Ooh, I love being able to pick these pieces off while it goes around. Now, the anti-glare coating that you got, it's also 3 features in one. The first feature is that it eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead lights, fluorescent lights. The second feature, it's also a cosmetic lens, where someone's not looking at their reflection when they're looking at you. If someone takes a picture with the flash, you don't see the flash lit up like you can see the fluorescence of the lens that's in my right, that it does not have the anti-glare coating on it. So it just makes for much better eye contact. And then the third feature that I like, it comes with the strongest scratch coating in the business. Of course, you're going to get a 1-year warranty from me anyway, nonetheless. But that's how I can offer a 1-year warranty, because it already comes with the best scratch coating in the business. So you do get the thinner, lighter weight lenses, virtually unbreakable, bulletproof up to 22 caliber, both UVA, UVB protection, and an anti-glare coating to eliminate glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain. Now, if you notice, these water jets have just kicked in. Up until now, polycarbonate cuts dry. There has been water running in the background, but it does this in the last 20 seconds just to wash away any optical debris. In just a moment, I'll take your lens out and we'll see if it fits into the frame. All right. So I'm going to pop that out, dry everything off here. And you saw a little bit of rough edges, so one thing I want to do to smooth out those burrs is to use my hand stone, which is completely flat. I can put my finger on when it's running, and the friction makes my finger warm, but it's that friction that allows me to go around the outside of the lens and smooth out those rough edges. Now you see this white powdery substance that's left over. I scrape that off of your lens with my thumbnail, and I actually do this so much all day long. I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. My friends call it my occupational thumbnail. And once all of this has been removed off of your lens, I collect it into one pile on the counter, and very neatly and very carefully, I wipe it on the floor. And this is where I say, kids, stay in school. I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like that. If you want to grow up and make a mess, you got to stay in school like I did. So to see if these fit, I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corner, then using my thumbs, I press down at the nose, and there's actually still a little bit of give. So I do not want to force the lens in there. I'm going to take 1/10 of a millimeter off of your lens, and a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance off, going all the way around until it easily pops into your frame. It's the golden rule. You can always cut more off of a lens. You can never add it back on. So I programmed the machine to cut just a little bit large for the right lens, and once I get the sizing down just perfect, I'll flip it over and start cutting the left. But if you notice, there is water running in the background, but that's only to collect the dust that I would not be sucking in if the door were closed. But hey, who doesn't like a good bit of dust? Just like my grandmother making biscuits, a little bit of flour is going to drift up. It's good for you. It's good for you. So the water jets have kicked in. That means it's in the last 20 seconds of its cycle. And in just a moment, it's just cleaning away any optical debris. And you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. So let me go ahead and take it out. So I'm just going to put some more debris on the edges when I go back to the safety bevel. So real quick, dry everything off so it's not slippery. Back to the handstone. Back to the safety bevel. Back to scraping that off with my thumbnail. You know what's coming next. Back to wiping it on the floor. My wife loves that part. Why can't you be nice? Never mind, I'm going to leave her out of this before I get in any trouble. She always wants to know why I make such a mess back here. Because I'm working, honey, that's why. So again, I'm going to tuck the lens in here. Sorry, honey. I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corner. And using my thumbs, I press down. Now it snaps in perfectly. The reason why I don't want to force it could stretch your frame or even cause it to roll where the lens wants to pop right out. That's not a good look. And since I'm a one-man operation and I control the quality of everything that goes out of this lab, you're lucky to have a perfectionist like me cutting your lenses. Now, I will continue to work on the right lens as soon as the left lens starts cutting, but for now, just like before, the calipers are going to come down, but this time they're going to trace the left side of the frame to make sure that this lens is large enough to fit into the frame. Starting with the back surface, the concave surface, and then it's going to move over and trace the convex side of the lens. And that concludes your vocabulary lesson of the day. Yes, you will be tested on this later. You'll have to explain what concave and convex means. Hey, if I had to learn it in school, I'm going to make you learn it too. That's how it works. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Microphone check 1, 2. Okay, so while the left lens is cutting, I'm going to go ahead and inspect the right lens and make sure it's perfect. This block is no longer needed, so I'm going to remove that. Clean everything up nice and tidy. Now see, this is the one place I do keep tidy. Imagine that. But this blue sticker is no longer needed, so I'm going to remove that. If you notice, if you can see, you have a red dot that is left on your lens. That is your optical center. I'm going to leave that on there for now to measure something in the future, but I'm going to put the wheel, of course I never moved it, it's still on 7. I'm going to put it in. And I'm reading +1. Hopefully you can see that. Check your astigmatism correction. And we're at +1/4. So your prescription reads, your right eye is +1 -75 at 007. Your left eye is a +75 sphere, meaning you have no astigmatism. This first, and the unit of measurement in the optical field is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. It goes in quarter increments starting at 0, also known as no prescription or plano, and goes up from there, quarter, 0.50, 0.75, 1, and so on. It can be plus or minus. You actually need 4 steps of magnification in your right eye. Now you have a second curvature, which is your astigmatism. This first number makes everything the correct size. Without your glasses on, things are actually much smaller than they appear in real life. So when you put your glasses on, it magnifies 4 steps. You're on the 4th rung of a ladder to get everything the correct size. Now your astigmatism, and there is a stigma over the word astigmatism, it just means shape. It's like someone saying someone has straight hair or someone else has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. It just refers to a shape. And that shape is what makes everything fuzzy, like 6s and 8s are the letters P and F. So you only need 3 steps of correction there. Now, if someone had given you $1 and then they asked for 75 cents back, you would still have a quarter. And that's where we're at. We're at a quarter step. So you're almost back to 0 in your right eye. You started off 4 steps of the rung of a ladder, and you've come down 3 more, so you're literally stopped on the first rung. Now your left eye only needs 3 steps of magnification to get everything the correct size. It doesn't need to fine tune. Now the 7, these first 2 numbers, the 1 and the -75, are real values, same as the number here. This last number under axis just means that's the fine tune knob. That's where we fine tune everything to make the 6s and the 8s look crisp on a scale from 0 to 180, with 90 being in the center. Of course that's 360 degrees of a circle. We would actually turn it not to 90, not to 180, but just barely past 0 up to 7. And that's the fine tune knob. This can be anywhere from 0 to 180. It really doesn't mean anything. It just tells us where to turn that knob to make everything nice and crisp. So the water jets are running, so we're on the last cycle. Look at that, it's ending now. Perfect timing, perfect timing. So let me take the lens out, dry it off so it is not slippery. You don't know how embarrassing it is to drop one of these on live TV. So, back to the handstone, back to the safety bevel. Ooh, there's a good little piece right there. Look at that, look at that. So again, use my thumbnail to scrape all of this off. And once it's all on the counter, this time behind the back. Kids, look at that technique. Kids, how many times I got to tell you? Stay in school. Grow up and learn to make a mess. All right, so to see if your left lens fits, I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner. Then using my thumbs, I press down at the nose, and it snaps in. I'm going to take this block off. Take this blue sticker off. It is no longer needed. Drop that, and oops, fell on the floor too. See, that's what I get for trying to throw something away. It still falls on the floor. I'm just going to read that this reads a plus 75, and it does. We're almost at 1, so from 0, quarter, 50, 75, and 1. Your pupillary distance is 57.5, so I'm going to place the 0 of my PD stick, where's my PD stick? There it is, against my thumb on your right lens, and then when I hold it up over with my left lens, hopefully the GoPro camera is good.